The set might look a little different because we changed it up. So quick little confession, I got COVID, so I wasn't able to shoot for a couple of weeks and all this got renovated. During that time, this video was supposed to show you how Martin, Abby, and myself all make mac and cheese in 3 varying degrees of difficulty. So that's what we're gonna do, except I'm all alone in a new set.
Abby.
Hi, I'm Martin.
Hi, my name is Erwan,
and this is how I make mac and cheese.
So why mac and cheese? It's something that's extremely comforting. It's one of those pastas you can make without pissing off a whole country or a nation. You can take a lot of liberty with it. I don't necessarily know the history behind it or whether it has some Italian origin story, but it's been made in so many different ways all over the world that it's generally accepted that you can basically do what you want with it.
Give me like a really good yummy face.
The whole concept of one pot is exactly that. We want to make it in one pot to try to reduce the amount of cleanup that we have. I'm gonna use just a tiny bit of butter, and that's gonna go into our pot. And then with that, I'm gonna add my panko. So once your butter is absorbed in the breadcrumbs, then all we wanna do is wait for that to kind of become a nice golden brown color. So as you can see, kind of like perfectly nice and brown. Really tasty already. And to that, we're gonna add some chopped parsley. Second element that's really important is cheese. I'm gonna be using some cheddar as well as some raclette. So raclette is a Swiss cheese that's very famous to just kind of put it under some sort of burner or salamander, and then you put that on potatoes. The best thing ever. And this is what's gonna give you kind of like that maturity, like that mature flavor, which is quite nice in mac and cheese. Still one pot, kind of left some of the burnt stuff in there, totally fine. Basic roux, so butter, very key. Melt that, and then to that we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So give that a few seconds. You wanna get that a little thick. See, it's bubbling already. So this looks like a good time to add my milk. Okay, it's nice and thick and smooth, which is perfect. Lower down the heat, and here we're just gonna use that residual heat to melt our cheese. By adding your cheese slowly, you actually are making sure also you get a nice smooth sauce. If you add everything in one go, it'll just become very kind of goopy. This looks absolutely perfect to me. And then now we're gonna cook the most important part of the recipe is macaroni and cheese. This is the cheese, what are we missing? The macaroni. I was supposed to cook the pasta first and then add the pasta here. But because I said I'm gonna do it in one pot and I'm gonna stick to my word because I'm a man of my word, we're gonna transfer the cheese out. We're gonna cook the pasta here, then we'll do it, which makes us wash the pot, which was not supposed to happen, but it's all cool. It's still gonna be one pot. So I'm gonna be using today Ideal Gourmet's Elbow Macaroni. I like that they also have the shell macaronis, but Elbow Macaroni for me is kind of like your more classical macaroni. So we have hot water. Obviously, really important, you need to salt this. And I'm gonna keep repeating it because everyone kind of just always says that's so much salt, but yes, you need that much salt. It literally has to taste like the baguette, like see. Did you see me add salt anywhere else? No, right? So the sauce is obviously salty because of the cheese that's in there, but a lot of the flavor has to come through the pasta. I think Ideal Gourmet has been in the country for about 70 years now, so they really have such good experience in terms of making pasta. And it also uses durum wheat semolina, which gives you that bite and makes it much kind of like, I wouldn't say easier to cook, but it retains the al dente texture that you want from pasta much longer versus kind of like extremely refined pastas. Our pasta is done. So it is important to drain this because we want our sauce to really stick to the pasta. But don't throw that away. Keep it to the side, put the pot back in front of you, your elbow macaroni goes back in, and then we're gonna go ahead and toss in the sauce. Once it hits the heat a little bit, it binds together perfectly. If you need this a little more liquidy, remember, you have a lot of salt in this water, so be very careful with the pasta water that you add to it. So you want this to be a little more liquidy than what you would want to eat, so that when you put it in a plate, it's actually perfect for you. You can also mess around with it and add like a little bit of crème fraîche or sour cream right at the end. It'll just give it a little bit of sourness and kind of like a little bit of acidity, which will be really nice overall. Taste tester, come hither.
Try this and let me know what you think. Quote unquote. One pot. Doesn't it taste like a little sophisticated?
Yeah.
Is it just me? Right?
It is. It's nice though.
I think the raclette kind
texture.
of makes it feel very grown up, right?
And fancy.
And fancy.
It's very good.
Nice.
So this mac and cheese that I'm making today is, I consider it a classic kasi parang this is the usual ingredients, usual process wherein you cook the macaroni, make your cheese sauce with a milk base, put some breadcrumb toppings on it, bake it, and then good enough to serve. Starting with a cold pan, I'll place my bacon and then some water. So while that's happening, I can start boiling my pasta. Yan, I'll just transfer my bacon. I'll chop it up later pag i-combine ko na with the pasta. But for now, back to the pan. So my garlic has browned a bit in the bacon fat. I'll add my flour. Then slowly, I will add some milk. Para tayong gumagawa ng bechamel sauce na hindi. Okay, mag-alala, hindi ko siya nasa-scrape dahil meron tong... So I'm adding 3 types of cheese. 1 sharp cheddar, 1 white, and mozzarella. From the name itself, it gives off a sharper flavor, meaning mas bitter siya ng onte, which you get from the older cheddar cheese. Next up is the white, para mas milky lang talaga. A splash of milk. Yun, oh. Okay, I'll set this aside. Right, so I'm adding some dried parsley leaves into unsalted melted butter. And then, ilalagay ko siya dito sa Japanese or Panko breadcrumbs. So this will give your mac and cheese some texture because it's gonna be very milky, very creamy, very cheesy. So sobrang nakakaumay. Season with some paprika, pepper. So assembled and ready to bake. So preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and we'll bake this for 15 to 18 minutes or until mag-brown yung breadcrumbs natin. Yan. Still a bit hot. Yung pag sinubo mo, puro exhale. Come on down, Abby. The best Abby in the universe.
Hey!
Ayan. So, mac and cheese classic. Meron siyang breadcrumb toppings para lang dun sa crunchy
Crunch.
texture. Kasi alam natin, sobrang daming cheese, sobrang daming gatas niya. Try your best.
Anong cheese ginamit mo dito,
Impression.
chef?
Gumamit ako ng white cheddar, sharp cheddar, saka mozzarella.
I like the crunch. Kasi kung wala tong breadcrumbs, one note yung texture niya. Tapos puro cheese. May spice ka ba na nilagay siya?
Just paprika. Konti lang. Kung may add ka, sabihin natin gusto mo gawing kid-friendly, what would you add?
Hotdog, bacon, ham. Kid-friendly. I think yun.
Yun na, no? And more cheese.
Actually, mac and cheese, very kid-friendly na rin eh.
Pero medyo adult version tong ginawa natin. Ayan, so that's it for mine.
Good.
Is it your turn?
Let's see who does this better. Okay. Sorry. With this recipe, what I aim to do is to make it more creative, make it more bite-sized or more easily consumable by making it into these balls that you bread and fry. So you have this mac and cheese balls that you can also fill with other ingredients such as bacon or ham or more cheese if you would like. So first, we are going to render our bacon. So in a pan, I put 100 grams of sliced bacon. And to make it render faster and easier and so the bacon doesn't burn, we add a little bit of water. So we are going to salt our water generously. So for this specific brand, Ideal, it says cook for 10 minutes and automatically al dente yun. Now we just wait. Okay, so I think our bacon is done rendering. Okay, so now our bacon has finished rendering. Hahanguin lang natin yung bits ng bacon. And this fat, that is full of flavor. And we can use this when we make the roux. Okay, so now our pasta is done cooking. Drain lang natin siya. And we are just going to transfer it into a baking dish. So now let's add the flour. So this is 4 tablespoons. So for mac and cheese, hindi natin iba-brown yung roux natin. We just need to achieve a smooth roux. So now that wala nang buo-buong flour, mag-add tayo ng milk. When you pour the liquid, low heat and cold yung liquid, okay? So I have here 2 cups of cold milk. Then, unti-unti lang natin siyang ipupur dito sa ating roux. Then, add pa ako. And then, hindi muna ako mag-a-add ulit until ma-incorporate yung last pour ko. So, all in all, I think I added around 4 cups of milk. And this is the consistency you would want to see. So, in this thick milk, we are going to add salt, paprika, garlic powder, ground black pepper. So, I'm just gonna mix this lightly. And finally, our cheese. So, we have here sharp cheddar and Gouda. And at this point, all we need to do is just melt the cheese. So, just keep stirring. Ayan, until maging smooth na yung sauce natin. And now, we are ready to combine it with our macaroni. So, we are just going to pour this lovely sauce that we made into our pasta. Okay, so now everything is incorporated. I will also add here our bacon meat, the rendered bacon. So just make sure to distribute it evenly. And then we give this our final mix. Okay, so now we have our finished mac and cheese. We will freeze this for 30 minutes to an hour, just so they become more manageable kapag binola-bola na natin sila later on. Okay, be right back. Now this is chilled. We will turn them into cheesy, yummy balls. So I have here 1/4 of a cup to measure our mac and cheese. And then just put them in your hands like this and turn them into these small, very easily consumed balls. And the second step would be the breading. So we have here our flour, egg wash, and breadcrumbs. We're using Panko for that extra crispiness. So for the eggs, just gonna beat them. I have here 2 eggs. And now we take our mac and cheese balls and dip it in the flour. Then afterwards, put it in the egg wash. And then finally, the breadcrumbs. Since we are frying cheese, we wanna make sure the crust can really hold the cheese inside so that the cheese doesn't melt into the oil. How do we make this crust thicker? Is we put it again in the egg wash and roll it again in breadcrumbs. So this is the final look that you're looking for. And now we're just going to finish the rest of the mac and cheese. Now this goes into the freezer for another hour. Okay, so now that these are frozen and cold, all we need to do is deep fry them. So I have here oil at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just gonna carefully drop each of the mac and cheese balls into the hot oil. Siguro wala pang 1 minute, but it's already looking really, really good, golden brown. And we drain this in a wire rack or strainer or over paper towels. This is really, really hot, so I advise you cool it down before serving. And optionally, with some tomato ketchup. For some color, you could also garnish roughly chopped parsley. Oh, di ba it's so pretty? And there you go, mac and cheese balls. Oh, super crunchy. Wow. That looks really good. I'm excited to show this to our taste tester for today. Chef Martin, let's go. Come here. So from the looks of it, what you think?
Ang ganda ng pagkaka-coat mo ng breadcrumb.
Let's go.
Dakma. Okay, so gusto kong kumagat
Grabe.
ng hindi pa ano. Parang ang kapal nung ano niya, no?
Munchkin.
Like,
Perfect lang yan.
pag binato kita nito, masasaktan ka. Burger? Wait, crunch test.
Oo nga.
Diyan ba yung mic? ASMR.
Ang gusto ko dito, pwede mo siyang lagay sa bulsa. I feel like it's not messy to eat.
Tsaka, actually, very different na talaga siya from your typical mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Kasi instead of a meal, it's like a snack.
In one.
Actually, I think better siya with ketchup. Let's see.
Actually, it works.
Ang sarap niya with ketchup.
Yeah.
Parang almost a croquette. Creamy, crunchy outside,
Yep.
creamy inside, and then you get that tanginess from acidity and tanginess from the ketchup. Super proud ako.
I'm proud of you also.
Yeah, from a boring
Dati
mac and
ganito ka lang
cheese.
katangkad ngayon. Matangkad ka na
Ito
sa...
kasi, you know. Okay, so busin namin to, guys. Bye!